From ABC 7 News, this is a breaking news alert.
4:24 now, and good morning, Washington, starting with breaking news right now. Minutes ago, Indonesia disaster officials raised the death toll for this week's deadly earthquake. At least 131 people are now confirmed dead, and that number is expected to rise as crews sift through the rubble of the collapsed buildings. Sunday's magnitude 7 quake also injured thousands and left more than 150,000 people homeless.
As an American, I wish we could do better. We could be a better country.
A man attacked in Georgetown in what police are calling a possible hate crime. Cachazo Pajo says a cyclist attacked him Monday morning with a bike lock during what started as a traffic dispute. He also called him racial slurs. That cyclist now in police custody. Good morning, Washington. Great to have you here as we reach the midweek point. It is Wednesday, August the 8th today. And yes, hot weather all this week. And it looks like it's going to continue for a while. Eileen has everything you need to know as you head out the door this morning. Good morning, Eileen.
Good morning. Happy hump day, Melanie. Like you said, we're halfway through our work week. And our weather, basically a rinse and repeat of the past 2 days. Today, an even higher chance of thunderstorms than we had the past 2 days. But we will have that risk for downpours and also some gusty winds. So that's why it is a Storm Watch 7 weather alert day for us. But temperatures once again soaring into the lower 90s. But you know the drill with the humidity. We're going to have those feels like temperatures around 100, but our forecast high today, at least in downtown Washington, 93, about 90 degrees today in Frederick, Annapolis, Quantico today right around 91. Right now, though, at 426, you're waking up to a mix of clouds and clear skies. We're at 76 degrees downtown, but right now in Loudoun County, Leesburg checking in at 64, so one of our lowest numbers of the morning. Coming up in 4 minutes, I'll talk more about the timing of these thunderstorms later today as you're kind of making your plans for the Wednesday ahead. So we'll time that out coming up in just a little bit. But let's go over to Julie Wright. Happy hump day, lady. How are things at 426?
Yeah, hump day underway. We're almost there. Right now, BW Parkway northbound. This is where we had the crash. It was just cleared a few moments ago up near Powder Mill Road. So now all lanes are open, but we're still a little slowing to about 6 miles an hour, pushing northbound, headed up towards Powder Mill and out towards the 197. Coming southbound back down to the Capitol Beltway, all of your lanes are open. No issues to report right now northbound 95 in Virginia. So far an easy ride for those coming north of Route 3 out of Fredericksburg headed in towards Quantico. Now that's our traffic watch. When I return, we'll update that ride along 66. Melanie.
Okay, Julie, thank you. And breaking this morning, a 13-year-old girl and her baby brother missing in the district. Kamari Davis and 1-year-old Maka Davis have not been seen since yesterday afternoon. The children last spotted on Stanton Road in Southeast. And you can see on the map that's just off the Suitland Parkway. If you do see them, you should contact police. Right now, an Amber Alert in effect in Virginia as police search for a woman and her 12-year-old granddaughter. And take a look at these pictures. Police say Angie and Elizabeth Rodriguez are still missing after they were abducted from their home in Harrisonburg. Police say they arrested the man who took them. Investigators say he was infatuated with the grandmother. He's now being questioned. Got a sad update about one of D.C.'s bald eagles. Valor, which hatched in a tree at the National Arboretum this spring, has died. According to Tri-State Bird and Rescue Research, the eaglet fell out of the nest a week ago. Veterinarians say he then tested positive for West Nile virus and was not improving, so they had to put Valor down. Sad news indeed. It is 4:28, and we're just getting started.
Now, Good Morning Washington on your side.
Round 3, defense attorneys get a crack at the star witness in the Paul Manafort trial. We are breaking down his bombshell testimony. And good morning, Washington. Welcome in on this Hump Day Wednesday. It's August 8th today. We've got a lot to get to in the news. We start with weather and traffic. And Eileen, yeah, hot and humid once again.
I know. It's, I guess, August in D.C. This morning, get out the door. Temperatures are in the 70s, a few 60s in some of our suburbs, but definitely short sleeve weather this morning. And I'd say up until lunchtime, it's going to be dry for anything that you need. But really, after lunchtime today, Veronica Johnson and I thinking the best window of storm chances today between 2 and 8 p.m. But our midday temperature 93. But keep that Storm Watch 7 weather app yesterday. My phone was blowing up yesterday. I'm in Rockville and it kept alerting me to lightning 15 miles away, and then when a severe thunderstorm warning was issued, it alerted me to that as well. This evening, our rain chances start to diminish after about 8 o'clock, but still keep that umbrella handy, 87 degrees. So look at our rain chances. You'll notice by 1 o'clock, our rain chances up to about 50%, 60% chance that you'll get a thunderstorm in your neighborhood today, and that's here at about 5 o'clock for the drive home. And in the storms that develop today, I mean, we're talking some really heavy rain, some of those downpours, also some gusty winds. Yesterday, we had a tree down in D.C. I know we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail coming up as well. But Julie, one thing that was kind of interesting, my parents, they're in Silver Spring, Maryland, and yesterday my dad called me and he said, oh my gosh, Eileen, we just had a storm, and they got just under 2 inches of rain in about a half hour. So
oh my gosh,
a lot of rain, and also you got to watch out for the risk of flooding.
Yeah, the risk of flooding, because there's still a lot of storm drains. I noticed that on the drive back home. There are a lot of drains that still need to be cleared out, so that does not help with all that water that comes down in a short period of time. All right, BW Parkway still waiting to clear out from the earlier crash that we had up at Powder Mill Road. Still slowing to about 6 miles an hour, passing the scene, headed northbound. Southbound lanes are open. Now on the south side of the Beltway, coming out of Oxon Hill, headed for the Wilson Bridge. It's now an 8-minute ride, which is pretty good at this hour. Coming from Camp Springs, headed in towards Alexandria. No problem spots to report at this time. And then for those traveling in Virginia, eastbound 66, a 34-minute commute as you travel in from Manassas towards the Capitol Beltway. Now that's our traffic watch. When we return, we'll take a look at that drive on 270. Melanie.
Julie, thank you. Breaking this morning, a 13-year-old girl and her baby brother missing in the district. Kamari Davis and 1-year-old Maka Davis have not been seen since yesterday afternoon. The children last spotted on Stanton Road in Southeast. On the map, that's just off the Suitland Parkway there. If you do see them, you should contact police. Happening today, defense attorneys get another chance to cross-examine the prosecutor's star witness, former Paul Manafort business partner Rick Gates, undergoing hours of brutal cross-examination Tuesday. As Stephanie Ramos explains now, defense attorneys say Gates is a liar who is just trying to keep himself out of jail.
After a full day of questioning, Rick Gates, the government's star witness, will take the stand again today to testify against former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. On trial in Alexandria, Virginia, Manafort is accused of evading taxes on $60 million earned in overseas lobbying and consulting work for a Russian-backed Ukrainian political party. He's pleaded not guilty to all charges, including bank fraud and lying to the IRS. In court, Gates admitted to hiding millions of dollars in more than a dozen offshore accounts for Manafort, detailing how his former mentor and boss allegedly instructed him to not report foreign bank accounts to avoid paying taxes on them. "Did you report payments from foreign bank accounts?" the prosecutor asked. Gates answered, "Mr. Manafort directed basically that we did not need to report them." Gates has already pled guilty to conspiracy and lying to federal authorities, but hasn't been sentenced yet. Manafort's lawyers painting him as someone who agreed to cooperate with prosecutors in exchange for a more lenient sentence, even questioning Gates about his secret life, including an extramarital affair paid for with money he embezzled. Manafort's lawyers trying to chip away at Gates' credibility. Gates fighting back, insisting he's ready to tell the truth, saying, "I'm here to take responsibility." Gates could face more than 50 years in prison. In Northwest, Stephanie Ramos, Good Morning Washington.
In Northwest, 2 families are facing a major cleanup operation after a tree falls into their homes. This was the scene near Rock Creek Park. Solanges Vivens says the tree went crashing through the roof during a storm Tuesday. Her neighbor's home took a direct hit, but the damage was relatively minor in her home. More importantly, the home was empty when it happened. The damage there is still being assessed. Police releasing shocking new video of a violent armed robbery. This happened in Southeast. The suspect in the gray hoodie there walks up to a group of people and pulls a gun. The man fires several shots and wrestles, look at that, one victim to the ground. All of this playing out at 10 in the morning. The victim was wounded but is expected to survive. Now, anybody who has any information about the gunman is asked to contact police. Police are hoping the national night out events held in our area will generate more trust among communities they serve. One of last night's events took place in Oxen Run Park in Southeast. There was music and food as police officers mingled with residents. At a recent roundtable discussion on policing in Ward 7 and 8, many residents expressed distrust toward police officers. Last night's event was aimed at breaking down those barriers.
I think that these are things that they should do often to help bridge the miscommunication.
My grandchildren, they scared of the police.
D.C. Police Chief Peter Newsham was at the National Night Out event, and he says despite complaints, he believes his department's positive interactions with the community outweigh the negative. We're learning more now about the damage caused by what is now the largest wildfire in California history. The Mendocino Complex fire in Northern California, blamed for destroying at least 75 homes. The fire has scorched more than 450 square miles, and crews say thousands of other buildings are now in danger.
Fire travels faster than you think. It's an incredible sensation to be in this and to be faced with life and death.
State officials say their resources are stretched thin. More than 14,000 firefighters are there battling on the front lines. And a second crew now from Maryland is working that wildfire out west. That 20-person crew is now in Montana, and they'll help fight a 400-acre wildfire that is not contained at all. Nearly 200 Maryland firefighters now battling blazes in western states. A driver attacked in Georgetown in what police are calling a possible hate crime. Coming up, we're going to talk exclusively with the victim. Plus, a new Maryland mom has her baby taken away, and it's all because of what she had for breakfast. We'll explain that coming right up.